Throughout history, several ancient Christian manuscripts have been lost, hidden, or deliberately excluded from the biblical canon. However, many of these texts have resurfaced in modern times, shedding light on alternative perspectives on Christianity, early Christian beliefs, and missing pieces of biblical history. Among these, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch, and the Nag Hammadi Library are some of the most significant findings. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Found in caves near the Dead Sea, these manuscripts date back to 250 BCE, 68 CE. They include nearly every book of the Old Testament, along with apocalyptic writings, messianic prophecies, and sectarian laws. Some scrolls describe an apocalyptic war between the sons of light and the sons of darkness, mirroring themes later found in the Book of Revelation. These texts confirm that many Jewish and early Christian beliefs evolved over time. The Book of Enoch, considered sacred by early Christians but later excluded from the Bible, the Book of Enoch was preserved in Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity and in fragments among the Dead Sea Scrolls. It describes a different creation story, angelic beings known as the Watchers, and their forbidden relationships with humans, leading to the birth of the Nephilim, giant hybrids. It also contains vivid apocalyptic visions, some of which parallel those in Revelation. The Nag Hammadi Library. The Nag Hammadi Library is a collection of Gnostic texts, including the Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Philip, and the Secret Book of John. The Gospel of Thomas contains hidden sayings of Jesus, emphasizing inner knowledge rather than external salvation. The Secret Book of John presents an alternative creation story where a false god, demiurge, traps human souls in the material world. These rediscovered manuscripts offer insights into alternative Christian doctrines that were erased by the early church. They present mystical interpretations of Jesus' teachings, emphasizing inner awakening and the importance of gnosis. Additionally, these texts help fill in gaps in the Bible, particularly regarding angels, demons, the afterlife, and the cosmic struggle between good and evil. In many ways, these texts suggest that Christianity once had a more mystical and esoteric side, much like Eastern religions. However, for some Orthodox Christians, these texts are not considered part of the Bible because the King James Version of the Bible states that the canon is complete, and anyone who adds to or subtracts from it will be condemned. Revelation 22:18-19. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Ancient manuscripts in Eastern philosophy, the Sutras. Unlike Christianity, where many ancient texts were lost or suppressed, Hinduism and Buddhism have preserved their wisdom through sutras, sacred scriptures written in Sanskrit and Pali. These texts serve as the foundation for spiritual practices, philosophy, and enlightenment. Famous sutras in Hinduism and Buddhism. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. This text is a guide to self-discipline, meditation, and achieving enlightenment. It describes the eightfold path of yoga, leading to liberation, moksha. The Heart Sutra, one of the most famous Buddhist texts. It teaches that all things are empty of inherent existence. Shunyata. The Diamond Sutra discusses illusion and reality, stating that the material world is an illusion created by the mind. comparison between Christian manuscripts and Eastern sutras reveals interesting contrasts. Christian texts, especially those rediscovered like the Gnostic texts, were often lost or hidden over time, while the sutras were carefully transmitted for generations. Christian writings such as the Holy Gospel are typically exoteric, meant to be understood by the public, whereas the sutras are often esoteric, intended for deeper spiritual seekers. The literal versus mystical distinction is also striking. Christian manuscripts, like those from the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Nag Hammadi Library, suggest deeper meanings and spiritual layers, but the sutras are outright esoteric and complex, sometimes baffling in their depth. The Yoga Sutras and Heart Sutra, for example, dive into ideas of emptiness, illusion, and the nature of the mind, concepts that are still debated and explored by modern philosophers and scientists. It is truly astonishing how profound the sutras are, despite their ancient origins. Some describe deep metaphysical truths, the illusion of reality, and higher states of consciousness, ideas that modern science and quantum physics are only beginning to explore. Many NDE experiences suggest that every religion existed for a reason, meant for a specific culture, and people eventually choose the religion or spirituality that fits their level of understanding and enlightenment. For those spiritual wisdom seekers who are more interested in esoteric, hidden knowledge and wisdom, rather than exoteric, easily understood concepts, these texts may offer deeper insights. Let's explore some of the ideas and terms in the sutras and see if they match what we find in modern spiritualism. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are a set of aphorisms that lay the groundwork for understanding the essence of yoga, meditation, and the mind's role in achieving liberation. Patanjali's teachings offer a systematic approach to attaining mental stillness and spiritual insight through self-discipline, ethical conduct, and inner awareness. The nature of the mind. One of the key quotes from the Yoga Sutras is, "Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind." This sutra establishes the core purpose of yoga, stilling the mind's constant chatter. Patanjali asserts that the root cause of suffering and confusion is the restless nature of the mind. The mind is constantly fluctuating, moving from one thought to the next, which clouds perception and distorts reality. By practicing yoga, one aims to quiet these fluctuations, allowing for clarity, peace, and insight to arise. This idea is expanded upon in later sutras, where Patanjali speaks of the importance of controlling the mind and using practices like meditation to reach a state of stillness, where one can experience their true nature beyond the noise of ordinary consciousness. The 8 limbs of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. The Yoga Sutras provide a roadmap for this journey in the form of the 8 limbs of yoga, which guide practitioners from ethical living to deep states of meditation. The first 2 limbs focus on ethical behavior. Patanjali details 5 yamas, ethical restraints, and 5 niyamas, personal observances, each serving as a foundation for mental and emotional balance. Ahimsa, or non-violence, is a central tenet in yoga. This is not limited to physical actions, but extends to thoughts and speech. Patanjali teaches that non-violence is the key to achieving peace, both within oneself and in the world. It is often understood as not causing harm intentionally or unintentionally. Satya. Satya means truthfulness, and it goes beyond mere honesty. It involves living in accordance with one's inner truth, aligning actions with the truth of existence. In Sutra 2.29, Patanjali states, The practice of the 8 limbs is the path to spiritual liberation. This sutra reinforces that yoga is not just a physical practice, but a holistic approach that involves ethics, physical postures, breathwork, withdrawal from senses, concentration, meditation, and ultimately, the realization of the true self. The final goal. The ultimate goal of yoga, according to Patanjali, is kaivalya, or liberation, which is freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Sutra 4.34 describes this as, by realizing the true nature of the mind and its distractions, a yogi gains freedom from the binding forces of the material world and attains the state of absolute freedom and peace. This final state of liberation is reached when one transcends the dualities of the mind and becomes one with the universal consciousness. The Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra is one of the most important scriptures in Mahayana Buddhism, or the perfection of wisdom. Though it is brief, it provides profound insights into the nature of reality, emptiness, and the path to enlightenment. A famous passage in the Heart Sutra is, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness." This statement encapsulates the Buddhist concept of shunyata, or emptiness. It means that nothing in this world possesses inherent, permanent existence. All things, including form, the physical world, are empty of independent nature because they are interdependent and arise due to causes and conditions. In other words, form and emptiness are two aspects of the same reality. This non-duality suggests that the apparent solidity and permanence of objects are illusory. By contemplating this teaching, practitioners come to understand that all phenomena are transient and that attachment to the material world leads to suffering. True wisdom, according to the Heart Sutra, comes from seeing the world as it is, empty of inherent essence and constantly changing. Another crucial teaching from the Heart Sutra is the idea that wisdom transcends ordinary understanding. Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion, while practicing deeply the perfection of wisdom, saw that the 5 aggregates are empty, and thus he overcame all suffering. This quote highlights the practice of prajnaparamita, which is the realization of the emptiness of all phenomena. By understanding the impermanence and interdependence of all things, one can overcome suffering. This is the path to becoming a bodhisattva, a being who seeks enlightenment not only for themselves, but for all sentient beings. The Diamond Sutra. The Diamond Sutra is a pivotal text in Mahayana Buddhism, particularly within the Zen and Tibetan traditions. It teaches the practice of non-attachment and the realization of the ultimate truth through direct insight into the nature of reality. At its heart, the Diamond Sutra is a conversation, a simple exchange between Buddha and his disciple, Subhuti. But within this dialogue, the entire foundation of Buddhist wisdom unfolds. The message is clear. If you are holding on to anything, you are not free. The sutra lays out 4 fundamental attachments that block enlightenment. The self, the idea that I exist as something permanent, separate, or special. Others, the belief in distinctions, seeing people as this or that, clinging to relationships and identities. Life, the illusion of a stable world, attaching to experiences, achievements, or possessions. Time, the belief in past, present, and future as real, rather than fleeting moments dissolving into one another. By recognizing and overcoming these misconceptions, one aligns with the Sutra's teachings on emptiness and interdependence, non-attachment and illusion. One of the core teachings in the Diamond Sutra is the idea of non-attachment, which is symbolized in the concept of emptiness and illusion. The text states, Subhuti, you should know that the Buddha's teachings are like a dream, a phantom, a bubble, or a shadow. This metaphor suggests that everything, even the teachings themselves, is ultimately empty of inherent existence. The Buddha teaches that one must not cling to concepts or words because they are fleeting and illusory, like a dream. True wisdom lies in seeing the impermanence of all things and not getting attached to them. The wisdom of generosity. Another striking teaching from the Diamond Sutra is its take on generosity. The sutra asks us to give without attachment, not just material things, but also spiritual teachings. The Buddha instructs, Subhuti, a bodhisattva, should give rise to the thought of giving, but without clinging to the idea of giving. Thus, giving is the true giving. This emphasizes that true generosity involves not just the act of giving, but the absence of attachment to the act itself. It is a practice of selflessness, where one transcends the sense of self and other in the giving process. In one of the final sections, the Diamond Sutra elaborates on the nature of ultimate reality. If you see me with form, you do not see me. If you see me with emptiness, you see me truly. This passage emphasizes that attachment to the physical world or to form obscures true understanding. The Buddha encourages his followers to look beyond appearances and form, recognizing that true vision is through perceiving the emptiness of all things. This insight leads one closer to enlightenment. Each of these sacred texts, the Yoga Sutras, the Heart Sutra, and the Diamond Sutra, offers profound wisdom and practical guidance for those seeking spiritual liberation. The Yoga Sutras teach the importance of mental discipline and ethical living, leading to a state of inner peace and liberation. The Heart Sutra reveals the profound truth of emptiness and non-attachment, showing the interdependence of all things. The Diamond Sutra reinforces the concept of illusion and the impermanence of all phenomena, pointing to the wisdom that lies in transcending attachment to form. Together, these texts provide a roadmap to liberation through deep wisdom, ethical living, and mental clarity, inviting all who seek the truth to explore the depths of their own consciousness and the nature of reality.